This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? We'd really appreciate it. Come on in, make yourself at home, you know the routine. This week for my collection video, it's going to be twofold. One, if you've been watching some of my other videos, we moved from my old house to another house, so we have kind of a bigger great room, and I thought we were going to put one of the older TVs in the great room. My wife actually decided she wants a bigger TV. Come on, guys, when your wife says she wants a bigger TV, a newer TV, are you going to say no? Hell to the no. So I'm going to be upgrading my 2016, 2015 Samsung 3D televisions to a 2025, 2026, 2027 television, whichever we decide. That doesn't mean I'm getting rid of my 3D TVs. By no means. I love my 3D televisions though, but we're going to upgrade, and I believe with this upgrade, maybe this will give me a new perspective on the 4K format. I know I have an older television, older 4K player, so maybe I'm not seeing all the details, all the awe and glory of 4Ks that other Blu-ray content creators rave about. So we're going to go with me to look at televisions, and at the end I'm going to pull some random 4K and Blu-ray movies in my collection and see if I can really tell the difference on this new television. Now, with that being said, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. Okay, we're at Best Buy. We're at Best Buy. We're at motherfucking Best Buy. One thing I notice as I'm walking through and just looking at TVs is how beautiful and bright all the screens are, and just how very clear and distinct the pictures are. And if you're looking for movies, if you're in the market, don't let this sway you, because at the back of my mind I'm thinking, okay, these pictures look great, but they are all set to the optimal setting for the lighting in Best Buy. And more than likely what they're showing are like demo discs. These aren't probably streaming or whatever, so they're showing you the best possible pictures for the individual televisions. And all this, because the last time I bought televisions was like 2015, 2016. So one thing I noticed is all the screens are much bigger. Prices for 60 and 65 inch televisions 10 years ago, you're probably looking at $2,000 and up. 60 and 65 inch televisions now, you could probably get as low as like $900. And once you start looking at the different type of televisions, then it gets a little bit more complicated. Do you go with that LG brand, who, according to the salespeople, they created the OLED television, they created the OLED screens, which Samsung and other televisions use. Then you start looking at LED televisions, the brightness, how great they look. So it got to a point where my wife and I were just kind of really torn on what television would work best for our needs. Also, the Sony Bravia, beautiful picture also. So eventually what we did is just got one of the customer service guys. I forgot his name, but I'd love to mention. He was a really great guy. He wasn't pushy. He's very patient, and he explained the pluses and the minuses of the different televisions. And ultimately we asked him, was like, well, what do you have? And he has, well, I have this particular television. So that played a part in our decision. We didn't go with the brand that he has, we went with the type of television that he has. So after much deliberation and looking at televisions, we decided to go with one. So if you hold on for a little bit, we'll take you back to the house and you see what I picked up. Hold on. After much deliberation, we actually decided to go with the Samsung OLED. I believe it has the Dolby Vision HR10 availability. So beautiful picture, beautiful motion. But with all this being said, has it changed my opinion on 4K movies? Are they all that? Well, let's see what movies I looked at and see what we came up with. Okay, I took pretty much kind of some random movies. I started out with 4K, then I went to Blu-ray to see if I can really see any difference here. And I started out with Poltergeist on Blu-ray. Popped this in, and I didn't watch the whole movie. I just took the beginning sections of it. Looked beautiful, flawless. I can't imagine a picture being that much more superior than the one I saw on this. But again, I think it was like the first maybe 3 or 4 minutes of it. Saw it, saw no flaws. So as far as playing Blu-rays, I don't see any issues with it. However, I popped this Blu-ray of Face Off in, and it started out great. However, it got to the scene, if you're familiar with Face Off, where Nicolas Cage is in the priest outfit and the choir singing. He goes up behind the young female choir singer and kind of grabs her by the derriere. What I noticed on the picture, his face seemed kind of faded out and the color was really off. And one thing I did realize with the Samsung OLED, one, I think because of the size of the screen, it exposes more deficiencies in the movie. And that to me was kind of glaring as far as the Blu-ray. So I haven't seen the 4K of this. I don't know if they solved that issue on the 4K, but I did see some flaws in the Blu-ray on the OLED. Let's go to The Sword and the Sorcerer. What's interesting about this, it has the Blu-ray and the 4K. I started out watching the 4K, and there's a scene where there's like, I think it's a mountain scene, and there's a lot of open sky, and the sky just looked horrible. It was grainy. It was just, the picture didn't look good. You could see the flaws. So I'm like, well, let me go to the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray actually looked worse than the 4K. So in this instance, I can definitely see the difference between the 4K and the Blu-ray. However, the picture still sucked. This one just sucked a little bit less. Lastly, I just took the, and I'd actually looked at a couple other movies though, but the first one I did actually comparison with the 4K and the Blu-ray was the Fate of the Furious. On the 4K, in the opening credits where they have the Universal logo, that looked beautiful. It almost looked three-dimensional on the 4K. I popped the Blu-ray in. It still looked good, not quite as spectacular as the 4K, but if you ask me which one's the 4K and the Blu-ray, without me knowing, I don't know if I could actually tell. Proceeded to play further in the movie. If you're familiar with the Fate and the Furious of the intro, Dom is in, I believe it's Cuba, and he's going to race against this other guy, this local. And I was looking for really distinct details, like the color of the cars, the rest in the cars, the stubble on their faces, the beards and stuff like that. If you can see details as far as the strands in their beards. Yes, in the 4K, it's a little bit more distinct, but it didn't blow me away. And these might be bad examples of 4K. Again, I watch other people's channels, 4K D-Ray, 80s Made. They're probably a lot more knowledgeable in for what 4K is to get and what 4K is not to get. But just based on this kind of random sample of movies that I've gotten, I'm still not 100% sold on 4K. Yes, I believe they do have superior sound, superior visuals, but throughout the movie doesn't merit paying $10, $20 more for the 4K as opposed to the Blu-ray. It depends. It really depends on what you get. For example, again, a Face-Off. I would like to see a 4K on Face-Off with the opening scenes to compare and contrast and which one's better. But at this point, my conclusion with 4K is it depends. It still doesn't give me the same wow factor as 3D, but it is what it is. So that's my analysis. If you have any questions and comments, please leave them down in the comments. If you made this far in the video, smash the like. Give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go and subscribe. Make sure you hype this video up. It helps the channel. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.